Can one 30-minute energy healing change your life?
It did ours, and we're going to talk about it next. So the day that Kenadie passed away, my left foot went numb. It was something that I never understood. I didn't know what was going on. My foot would drop. So when I was walking, I had a foot drop and it was just completely numb. Like if I touched the top of my foot, it just felt numb. It stayed like that for years. I went to chiropractors. I went to massage therapists, regular doctors. I had an MRI on it. I had x-rays. I also had the spot in my back that when Kenadie passed, when they took her from us, I felt like something inside of me just twisted. And the best way that I can describe it is that there was a part inside of me that went with her and was ripped out of my body. And I just kind of crumpled to the ground. After that, that pain was just always there. And it was really painful. And so I had the numb foot that dropped, and I had the pretty severe pain in my lower right back, kind of hip back area. And, nobody could fix me. I went to so many different specialists and, like I said, had the MRI look at it, and nobody could see anything that was wrong with me. But I felt it every second of every day, and it was frustrating. And so I was trying new people all the time, but I was about to give up. It'd been, I believe, about 2.5 years since Kenadie passed. And I was speaking with a massage therapist and said, I've had zero relief from this. And she said, I think you should try this new chiropractor in our area. She said, she's a little woo-woo. She's probably right up your alley. And so her name's Megan Jenks, and she still is a practicing chiropractor, but not in our area anymore. And I went to her and told her what was going on in my life. And she right away said, I won't be able to fix you with an adjustment. She said, I can do an adjustment for you, but that's not going to fix what's going on. She said, I think you need some energy work done. She said, I do something called archangelic light energy. And I was like, okay. What was weird is that I was open and I had tried things like Reiki before. So I was familiar-ish with energy work, but archangelic light, I don't know. It just sounded hokey, maybe to me. And so I was like, and I had tried a lot of things. I had spent a lot of money and spent a lot of my time, and nothing had worked. So I was pretty discouraged at that point, and I just told her, like, thanks, I'll think about it, sort of thing. And I went home, and I remember telling you about it, and you kind of had the same reaction that I did.
Yeah.
Like, it sounded weird. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We're just like such average Joe people. This wasn't something that was a part of our daily lives. So this felt very out there to us. But I was trying to be open. Like I said, the name threw me. So I received an email from her saying that there was a group remote session being done. So you could just be at your house. It was a 30-minute remote energy session. So I thought, and it was, an inexpensive thing. It was a short little time. I thought, why not give it a try? I think I was feeling nudged to do it, but I wasn't expecting anything to come of it. So I went into it actually with pretty low expectations. And I set up, I was going to take a bath during it, and I thought, I'll be totally relaxed. I envisioned myself taking this relaxing, nice bath. Turns out that the only bathtub in our house is too short for me, which I guess I'd never tried to take. Our house was still pretty new at the time, so I guess I hadn't tried to take a bath. So I'm all cramped in this bathtub, and I couldn't get comfortable. And then one of my earbuds is dead, so I can't really zone out the background noise. And Mila, our daughter, went across the hallway from the bathroom into her room and put on a SpongeBob episode. So there's SpongeBob in the background. I'm cramped in this little tub, and I'm thinking, well, this is a bust. Like, what am I going to get from this experience? But I plug in my one headphone, and I kind of propped up a towel to lay my head on the side of the tub, and I'm trying to relax. And the second that the session started, my eyes were closed. I thought that Shane or someone had like opened up the door to the bathroom and was flicking the lights on and off, like messing with me, which why would you do that? But I thought maybe, so I opened up my eyes to go, what are you doing? And nobody was there. And then I was like, ooh, I think something's happening. So, I closed my eyes again and the flashing started up again. So it was light and dark. And then there was drumming in the music that I was listening to. It was like a native drumming beat that I was listening to, but it changed, and all of a sudden there was a drumming that was like in my head that was different than what I was listening to. It was the strangest experience, but then it just opened up. The top of my head felt like it opened up like a funnel, and I could feel this swirling, cool energy. I'd never felt anything like it before. It felt so powerful, almost like a vacuum at the top of my head, but it was really soothing, and it was really, like I said, a cool air swirling around my head. And when I would try to focus on it or think about it, like what is going on, it would get less and less. So I was like, nope, just sit here and don't analyze it, don't question it, just enjoy the moment. Every time I could do that, I felt it get stronger and stronger and stronger. So that happened, and then the swirling stopped. The drumming started back up again, which was interesting. And then I kind of just relaxed and almost went into a kind of a sleep state for the rest of the session. What was interesting is that I woke up from that and knew that the session had just ended. Like that, everything that I was feeling was just gone. And I looked at the time and it had just stopped. And then Megan Jenks, the woman that had done the remote session, sent her notes along probably 30 minutes later, 30 minutes, an hour later, of what she experienced and what she kind of witnessed on her end. Now, remember, she wasn't at my house. She wasn't in the bathroom with me. she was, 20 minutes away. So, and she had no idea what happened during my session because I didn't let her know before she sent the email. So her email comes through and she says, and remember, this is called archangelic light energy. And she's doing the session, and she said at the very beginning of the email is she saw Archangel Michael at the top of my head opening up my crown chakra. I was like, oh my gosh, is that what I was feeling? I mean, I had to Google what is a crown chakra. Like I didn't know any of this stuff. And so I believe that helped open me up, because after that is kind of when everything really came online for me when it came to being more connected than I had been before. So that happened. And then she said that there was this area, she was working on my body, just visualizing it. When she got to my, lower abdomen, hip area, the energy felt really, really stuck there. So she spent a lot of time working on that. And she did know about that spot bothering me because I had gone to her for an adjustment. But I thought, and she said, I felt it release. I thought, really? Is this possible? And I stood up. I was reading the notes in this chair, and I stood up out of the chair, and I twisted my back because, I could feel the painful spot every time I moved. And I twisted it, and it was gone. And then I bent down, and I touched the top of my foot that had been numb for the last 2.5 years, and the numbness was gone, and it's never come back. And the foot drop is gone. All of that happened in a 30-minute remote session that I thought wasn't going to do anything for me. So after that, I asked you if you were willing to try it, and you were like,
I was like, yeah, definitely. But same thing, full skepticism about it, because I'd never been involved in anything like that or didn't know anything about it, or had never before really had an interest in it. But I was willing to try anything because it was still, like you said, it was a couple years into our grief stuff we were dealing with, and you were willing to pretty much try anything to feel better. So, and she told me what happened with her, and it was like, wow, that's crazy, because I know exactly what she'd been going through for the last couple of years, and it was endless, and she couldn't find any solutions for it. So I think that's one of the things that we don't realize, how much our emotions affect our physical bodies, even it's pretty wild. I mean, that's like proof right there that your grief was stuck in your body and affecting the energy flow of your body, and it was wreaking havoc on.
You had to help me upstairs.
So, yeah, she couldn't go upstairs alone because her leg would literally give out and she'd fall down. And it happened like from one day to the next. It wasn't like a gradual thing. It was like the day Kenadie passed away, it started. It was just like, boom. So yeah, so I said, sure, I'm all in. So,
because you were at, not to interrupt you, but you were at a really low place.
Yeah.
Like, I would say you were in your darkest spot of all 8 years since she passed. That summer, just really, you were really stuck in the darkness, which, that's part of the grieving experience, or can be.
Yeah, everybody knows what that feels like. It's gone through hard things or whatever, and really difficult times. So anyway, yeah, I was really in like my deepest, darkest time, probably overall, whatever. I mean, it's up and down all the time, you know how it goes. But yeah, it was a tough time. Fully skeptical, not expecting anything to happen, but thinking, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this. I don't know what to expect from it. So anyway, I agreed to do it, and I just, again, remotely at home, and I just laid on our bed. And when the session started, I just tried to relax. And like I said, I think not overthinking it probably helped me, because I didn't really know what to do. So I wasn't trying to make something happen. I was just laying there and trying to relax and just let it happen. And anyway, I was still awake, but my eyes were closed, and all of a sudden I was like flying through the air, and I could see, like, down below me there's this beautiful valley with a river in it, and off to my left there was a huge mountain. And then I realized that I wasn't just flying, because I could see like feathers like ruffling in the wind, but I was on the wing of this huge bird, and I was flying along, and it was like the place felt familiar to me. It wasn't somewhere I recognized, but I felt like I knew it. So I was flying along on this bird, and then all of a sudden there I was standing like on this ridge. I don't know if I was at the top of the mountain, but I was on the mountain, and now I was on this ridge, and it reminded me of a place where we have a cabin on the east side of our state. It had that feel. It was very steep and rugged, and lots of green trees and deep canyons. And I was standing there, and I remember feeling just kind of like, wow, this is beautiful, but I didn't really know what was happening. And then I heard a voice, and it was a voice I knew, and it's still hard to talk about, but it was Kenadie's voice, and I hadn't felt like I'd been able to connect to her for a long time. It was her voice. I looked down, and she was below me, like climbing up the hill, and she said, "There you are." And it was like I instantly knew that she had been trying to reach me and trying to connect with me, but she couldn't, because I was in such a low place. And I instantly knew that in order to do it, you have to be at a higher frequency. You have to raise your vibrations, like the typical thing you see all the time. Raise your vibrations, whatever. But it's 100% true. And it was like in that moment during that energy healing, my vibrations were raised to a point that she could meet me. And it was like a very it was very powerful, because I was actually higher than her. So it showed me, like, I knew, and all this came to me at the time, and afterwards, all these other little details came to me, but she was below me, climbing up to meet me, because originally I was down here, and she was up here, and she couldn't reach me. While during that energy healing, I had gone to here. So it symbolized that she had brought her vibrations down as far as she could, trying to reach me to help me, but she couldn't. But during that energy healing, my vibrations passed hers, and she had to like come back up to meet me again. And it was like, there you are. And it just had this feeling of she'd been trying so hard to reach me, and she couldn't, you know what I mean? So it was like, that's what changed everything for me. And I remember after the session, I like told you about it, and I was like, this just changed my life. And then I said, you have to learn how to do this. And I don't know why I put that on her, because I just don't think it's my path probably to learn how to do these things. It's maybe not what I'm here for, but I knew she had tried to do some other things before. So I think that's where that came from, is you have to learn how to do this, because it was so powerful. And it was such like a pivotal point for me in my life where things changed.
Yeah.
So,
because she also told him when she met him, and she said, there you are, Daddy. And he said, you left me. And she said, no, I didn't leave you. You left me. And that's really when you understood that she had always been there. She just couldn't reach you.
Yeah.
And it's not, you know, we're not putting guilt on people that you need to raise your vibration. If you're not feeling your loved ones, it's your fault. That's not what we're saying here. It's just there are times where they have a hard time reaching us because we are in such a low place. Yeah. And there are tools that can help you get out of that space and live more connected and feel more connected to your loved ones. And that's why you said you've got to learn how to do this. I think you knew that it just had changed your life. I remember he got up from his session, and we were lying on the bed. He got up out of the bed. He walked over to the window, and I had no idea if he'd felt anything. During the session, my eyes were closed, and I said, did you feel anything? And you turned and looked at me, and you had tears, and that was the first thing you said. You said, oh yeah, I felt something, and then you said, that just changed my life. And then you were like, you've got to learn how to do this. And so that's part of what we are now doing. I didn't know it at the time. I learned how to do this exact type of energy work. I didn't think I was going to feel it. I had done a Reiki course. I felt nothing when I had done a Reiki course, so I didn't think I had the magic touch. I thought, you had to have some sort of special connection across the veil or something. And I didn't think that it was my path, but I thought, well, I'll give it a try. And the moment in this class, we got to break out into groups and practice on one another. And the moment that I kind of said the prayer to the angels, and I can feel it right now in my hands, but I said it to them. The moment that I was done speaking this beautiful prayer to them, I felt that same cool swirling energy that I felt at the top of my head. I felt it in my hands. Feels like little mini tornadoes, it's just cool swirling energy. I can feel it right now whenever I think of them or want to connect with them. I feel it in the palms of my hands, and it just blew me away. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that I could do that. Like, if I can do it, literally anyone can do it. That is the truth. And so I started doing that for you, and it's helped you along the way with physical things. He had a shoulder thing that I helped you with, and emotional things. I've done stuff for family members and friends, and that's where I thought I was going to keep it. Friends, family, that's it. But I kind of live following the nudges. We do things, we call it for the 11s, because Kenadie would send us 11s to let us know that we were on the right path. So I live for those 11s, which is just living for following the nudge, following your instincts, following the light. And it's led me to doing this through 411. So that is part, but I needed to figure out, it took me a long time to figure out what that would look like and how we could do that and how we could make it super accessible to everybody. Anybody that wants to try it. We don't want anything to be between you and an experience like what we had. And so that's why it took us forever to see it, to be able to like really visualize what that looks like and how that could work.
And too, like I've had sessions since then to where nothing that magical has happened.
Yeah.
So if you have tried these things and you feel like they haven't done anything, that doesn't mean that they're not working, or it's that nothing's actually happening. It's just maybe you're not having that big wow moment. But I think even if you're not having those big wow moments, chance of you having one is pretty good if you keep going with it or whatever. So I mean,
yeah.
And I think it's helpful either way. Like I came from being truly skeptical of it to 100% believing in it and having no doubts about it. And coming on here and saying that, like, people will think these people are crazy or whatever, and that's fine. People can think that
ship has sailed.
Yeah, people can think that all they want, and that's one of our things that we're going to just stress to everybody out there is, like, don't worry so much about what other people think of you. Like, just follow your heart, follow your gut, experience the things that you want to experience in your life and see what happens, and believe what you want to believe, because that's why we're all here. It's our own life. It's our own path. Do whatever feels right to you. Yeah. And no matter what you do, you're going to get judgment from people. But that's fine. Like, don't let it stop you. So,
yeah, exactly. So that's kind of where our story started, with wanting to get not just energy healing out into the world in whatever way we could help with that, but also just all the different tools. That was one of many tools that we've come across that has helped us to live more connected. It was just one of the bigger ones, one of the big kind of aha moments that we got to have and experience that really changed our lives like that. Mm-hmm. And so inside the 411 community, I'm going to do those every single month because I want people to be able to experience it if they want to try it. And I want people to be able to keep doing it, because what I've learned since I started doing this back in 2020 is that it's not a one time and done thing. It can be. You do it once and be done with it, or don't ever try it. That's totally up to you. But what I have found out is that living life here, there's a lot of ups and downs. Like, this human experience that we're having, the energy that I interact with on a daily basis goes like this, depending on who I run into at the store and what I see on TV. And I mean, there's a lot going on around us, and it kind of, other energies kind of stack up on me, and I can protect myself as much as I can, but it starts to weigh me down. And what energy work has done for me is like removes the layer. And so that's why we kind of talked about it, like, how much should this be, what would be an ideal amount of time to offer this? What would we want to do? And it was like, I think once a month. I think that would be kind of a really good energy boost that we could do every single month that would help us on our journey. So anyways, that's why that specific type of energy work is going to be inside the 411 community for anybody that wants to try it. So
yeah, but it's a crazy thing to wrap your head around, and it's a really easy thing to dismiss as fake or hokey or not real, because as humans, we can't even wrap our minds around the things that we're actually capable of. We just get so ingrained in, like, the normal human stuff we're taught, and
the limitations that
we have, and we can't do this, we're not capable of that, and that's not true at all.
No, I'm blown away by what happens every time I do these sessions. And like you said, sometimes there's nothing magical that happens I've had lots of sessions where maybe I fell asleep during the whole thing, but I'm just trusting that whatever was needed for me, for my highest good in that moment, was received. As long as I'm open to it, it's up to you if you choose to be open to it. So I choose to accept the energy, and then whatever is meant to happen happens. But I feel like that's helped me in my healing and my grief journey in so many different ways that have just blown me away.
Yeah. So that's what we're here for. We're here to share our personal stories that are private and special and mean a lot to us, and everybody else's stories that we share on here too. They're all just evidence, and they're just here to motivate you guys and let you know that there are things out there to try that are worth trying. Like, what do you have to lose? And there's just so much more to the world than we know.
Yeah. A lot more than what we can see with our human eyes. I know that.
And we're surrounded, like you said, we're surrounded by so much negativity all the time that it's really hard to not get sucked into it. And it's everywhere you look. And we all have access to so much information now on our phones and in TV. And it's just, negativity is everywhere if you let it affect you.
Just like positivity is everywhere.
Yeah, just
too.
like positivity is everywhere too. If you, we're really good at letting the negativity affect us more than the positivity, and we focus on the negativity so much that it gets overwhelming. And we all do it, and we all go in those ways because those are the things that are on our mind the most. Probably the things we worry about, our worries or the stresses. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. So in our space here, these videos are going to just be here for you if you're open to learning more and you want to see things in maybe a little bit of a different light than what you've been looking at things in your past. That's what we're sharing because we didn't grow up like this. This wasn't part of our vocabulary. You know, I didn't even know what a chakra was.
Yeah. And we're still just living our normal life. Like this is a small part of how we're doing things. We have normal life worries like everybody else. These are just things that we found along the way that have been helpful.
Yeah.
So we're just sharing as much as we can with you guys, and we appreciate you being here and listening to our videos. And we apologize if we ramble on sometimes. Sometimes these
Every time?
Yeah, well, these topics are important. Like they mean a lot to us, and these stories mean a lot to us.
Yeah.
And so we have a tendency to ramble a little off on a tangent, but
that's all right. Hopefully it's not too annoying, but if you want to learn more about what we're talking about energy work or anything, you can check out the description of the video.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, right? The description?
Okay.
There will be information in there, but thank you guys for being here. We're going to keep putting these videos out every week. So if you aren't subscribed, or what do they do? Subscribe and like and something.
All the stuff.
We're new to YouTube here, so any of those things help us out.
Yeah, but you don't have to do anything.
No,
just check out a video. If it shows up, we appreciate just you guys watching, even for a little while. So
yeah, thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah, it means a lot.